everybody, it's Sam here. Thank you for watching. So today I'm going to show you how to make this really fun flip and see card. It uses the 5x7 die set and the barn door, which coordinates with this set. And I'm just going to show you a really fun way to have just half of the barn door open. So you can see all of that detail on the front here, and then when you pull the tab, it will open the top portion, have a horse and birthday, and we've got our cute little horse there inside. I think it's a really fun card style. I asked Gemma to do this as one of her samples. Gemma's on my design team and she made this lovely version here. So just to give you another idea, different colourway. So you pull the side there and she's got the horse inside. Happy birthday. I just think it's such a fun card style and just another creative way to use that barn door stamp and die set. So let's get started and I'll show you how to make it. So this is the 5x7 flip and see die set. You get 8 dies. So I've just popped mine all on my magnetic sheet. And I'll just talk you through what you want to cut. So first of all, you want to cut this one here. This is your main mechanism plate. So I've cut it first using some pattern paper from this set here. It's the Textures pack by Lou Collins, and it's this one. And I just thought that was a really nice design there. But because it's a paper, it's only 170 GSM, that wouldn't hold the pressure when you pull the tab. So I've also cut it in a 300 GSM white card and just stuck those together. So it's nice and hard now. Construction glue that I use is always linked below the videos, but there's lots of other ones on the market as well. So cut that one. You then want to cut this die here. So that's your pull tab. And it will have these 2 score lines. I always go over the score lines in my scoreboard. Just line them up with a track and then you can go over those. And then you just want to fold and burnish both of those. And you want to have it folded like this. So you've got this panel here facing you and then this section here. And then that one on the back there. Okay. This is going to go through like so. So you've got the folded side on the left and then that open side here. Okay, so you're going to position that like that. I'll explain that in more detail in a moment. Then you want a 5x7 card blank. If you don't have a shop bought one, and you just want to cut a piece of 10x7, and along the 10-inch side, you just want to score at 5 and fold that in half. In the set, you get this die here. This is your finger pull. On the open side of the card, you want to butt that flat cut line up to the edge of the card. All you want it to cut is just the semicircle or semi-oval. This one is. So I'm just going to tack that in place. You want it in the middle. So if you want to measure each side, you can, but I think that's about right. I'm just going to pop that in place. And then that will go through a standard machine. All the dies go through a standard die machine. You don't need your larger ones for this. I'm just going to pass this one through. Okay, so this is going to now sit over the top here. And you want to focus on this main panel here and make sure it sits in the middle of your card blank like so. So I've got an even border all the way around, and then you'll pull this so it's flush with the side of the card like so. If I just make sure that I just keep it all straight for you looking in the screen there we go. So I've got a nice even border all the way around the 4 sides, and then this piece here, this pull tab, is flush with the card. And you should find that the one underneath, this one here, runs just flush with that piece there. You might prefer using that as a guide. So if you make sure you pull it out and that's just flush there so you don't see it, then everything else is going to be correct and that will all fit nicely on the card. If you pinch these sides together, so you're holding the back and that panel in place, you can just open up here. You want to add some glue just on the top of this panel here. So I'm just going to take my quick grab glue and just run a bead of glue just on top there. So you're not doing it on the bottom one, just on the top of that shorter one, and then just let that drop down like so. You can just make sure that's all secure. So whilst that's drying, you want to cut your barn door. So that's using this set here, which is the barn door stamp and die set. So you want to pass it through first of all in whatever colour you want your door. Okay, it will cut the windows out and then it will emboss all this detail. And then you want to pass it through again in white, and it's the white one that you're then going to cut into. You can see all the detail here, and I've already gone ahead and cut all of those pieces. So you just want to cut all of these bits out. It's really easy. You can see on the red here where it's all embossed, you just follow those lines. I just use my trimmer. And then using the stamp set, this one here, you've got this one, Well Hello There, and that fits perfectly on one of the strips. So I'm going to have this one at the top, and then I've got the other one in the middle, and I'm just going to stick these back over the top. I might pop a little bit of foam behind. I think it'd look quite nice having it just raised up, so there's like a bit more depth to it, or you could cut a few and stick them together, but you can see how that just transforms the door. So this will work now. You can stick this onto here and you can just have it as a full flap that will open and then reveal whatever's inside. But I want to do it so that just the top portion of the card will open. So what I'm going to do is actually use my scissors here. You might want to cut this in half before you stick all this down. But I'm going to cut just above, there's a line there that you'll be able to follow, just above this white strip here. Okay, so this part here is going to open and this is going to stay in place. So what you'll need to do is cut yourself this piece here, because the matte layers, if you're doing it this way, are just slightly bigger. So this piece here I've cut down. You could cut one of those matte layers and then cut those down, but you want to cut yourself a piece that's 3 by 5. Okay, then with this one here, this is going to stick on here, but I want to stamp my sentiment in this part. So what I'm going to do is just lay this down where I think I want it to roughly go, so about there. And I'm just going to grab my pencil and just lightly just mark there. So now in this portion here, I'm going to have the horse, and then the sentiment, this one here, have a wholesome birthday. So I want to have that one about there. So I think that's going to look quite fun, because I don't want, I mean, he does obviously work on the front there. I'm just thinking actually I might have a different horse. I might have him there, and then he will be on the outside, because the idea is that you see his hoose, like he's popping him, you know, himself up outside the window there. So it's like we're going to back that, which I'll show you how to do all in a minute. So it's like he's there, and then when you open it, he's walking away saying, have a wholesome. I think that's going to look quite fun. So I'm going to stick him down, and then I'm just going to use my stamping platform. Okay, so now back to this one. So now I'm going to stick it onto here. So you just want to add some glue. So you just want to put the glue on that part. You don't want to put it on this panel here, this thinner panel. And then just sit that one over the top. Again, you want a little bit overhanging. That will just cover the slot, the tops of the slot there. Again, just make sure everything's nice and straight. Okay, then I'm going to take this one, and you want to stick this one, but you only want to put the glue on this side and not on that panel, so it will stay in place. But we want this panel to be able to move. So for example there, can you see how that moves? So that will allow this to flip, but we want this one to stay in place. So I'm just going to, I rubbed out my pencil line, but I can kind of faintly see where it was. Oh, don't do what I did there. Make sure you've got no glue there. And then again, you want to line up this left side with the edge of the fold here. And then with this one, you're going to just stick it onto there. You can see how it stays open. But before we do that, I want to add the horse on here. Pop the white behind. In fact, what I might just do is cut a white panel to just cover the whole top of that. But you've got the individual squares when you would have cut it in white to create these strip, you know, to cut the strips. And then I think I'm going to have him like on the side. I think he looks quite fun on the side. It's just a bit odd, a little bit different. So I'm just going to trim. What I'll do actually is add a little glue on the side there, just to get him tacked in place, like so. And then I want to add a little glue there, like Okay, then I'm going to add glue onto the backs of them and just piece the white card. You might want to use black, red, any colour, you know, yellow. It's entirely up to you. Piece that back in, okay, and then I'm just going to trim off him, and then I just want to secure that better. So I've got a piece of scrap here, so I'm just going to cover all of this side. Okay, and to do this way. Is it the same red? Oh no, it's a different red. There we go, that's the same red. Okay, I caught that. I'm going to do it on this side because I want the smooth side when you open. Okay, and then I can cut around that. It's just a bit easier to do it that way. I'm just going to have to go just under his hooves because I don't want to snip them off. Okay, so now we've got it nice and neat on the back. So then we can add our glue just on this side and then just line it all back up together again so it's nice and straight. Give that a minute to dry. In fact, whilst that's drying, I'm going to flip it over and I'm going to use some foam. You don't have to use foam, you can just use double-sided tape. So if you don't want there to be too much dimension, then don't use the foam. I'm going to run a strip along the top there, the same along the bottom, and then just some in the middle there just so it doesn't dip. So now I can take all the backing off of these and stick it onto the card blank. So just focus on your right side here, your pull tab being flush with the card, and then the top and bottom borders being the same, because once you've got this side down, everything else will line up. So you've got the nice border on the far side there. Oh, I've gone in a little bit, but that's okay. If that happens and you don't like that you've got, you know, a little bit there, just trim that tiny piece off the side of the card. It's okay. So if you do come in a little bit, but how cool is that? Love this style. So now I just want to decorate it a little further. So I've got the little crate here. So all these dies are from the Farmyard Icons set. You've got the gate, you've got the crate here, the hay bale, the barrel there, the fork, wheel, all sorts. And I've got a separate video showing you how you can paper piece and build these all up. So I'm going to have a few carrots and some corn in here, along with the gorgeous, very cute little lamb. So that's going to be a little bit further down here. So I'm going to, and there's little slots in here so you can, you know, pop things in there. There's apples as well. I've got a sample where there's loads of apples in here. We've got the fork, so I thought that would be quite nice, just kind of leaning up against the door. And then the little pig. Now the pig's from the Creative Stamping issue. That was an A4, I'll show you here. This stamp set was the exclusive gift with the Creative Stamping issue. It was 117, and I've used the Farmyard here, which coordinates with this. So we'll feature cute little pig down here, and then we'll have him a little bit off to the left, and then the carrots there, and then maybe I'll pop the fork kind of leaning up against the gate there, something like that. And then you also get the smallest arrow die in the set there, and I'm going to pop that on there. But you could also have the action written. So these are all of my written action stamps. It's the Push Me Pull You action stamp set. You've got very small ones there, you've got more arrows, you've got the pull there, you could have it open, you know, there's all kinds of ones. So if you like to make kinetic cards, it's a really handy stamp set to have. So I'm going to stick all of that down and I'll show you it when it's all finished. So that's everything stuck down, and then I just want to stick some, I've got these embellishments here, I've got so many, I've got these tiny little black ones, and I'm going to add them where the little nails would go. You could do any colour, you could have little glittery ones. You know, it depends on the kind of theme. You know, there's no reason why this can't be a bright pink barn door. It doesn't have to be a red one. I'm just, you can only see 3 of them there. Stick everything down first, and then if you can see any of them, then attach, you know, your embellishments, because otherwise it's just adding more bulk where you may not need it. I thought the black ones will pop against the white really nicely. And I'm just going to finish it off with some accent glaze. So I'm going to add some over the carrots. We've got some nice shiny carrots there. And also on the hooves there of the little lamb. And I'm going to add it onto the eyes of the horse and his hooves as well. It's just nice to have a little shine that catches the light. On the pig's eye as well, and on the goat's eye. That's everything finished. I think it's such a lovely card style. How much fun is that? And you've got all your space inside. Again, do that carefully. You know, stamp and write your message. What I would say is do mats and layers in here so it balances a bit of the weight. Otherwise you'll have to open it, you know, quite far. But you can see it still, you know, does stand up and everything. But I would just, yeah, definitely add some more mats and layers into there. I've added a lot of dimension to this. These are my samples. I just like to show you how much you can throw on these cards. But if you want to take it right back and have it much thinner, then don't add the foam everywhere that I have. And obviously, you know, all of these, even the pigs on foam and stuff like that, you know, just keep it a lot flatter. Something with this amount of dimension, I would use a box envelope, and I've got those on my other channel, so I'll link that up there for you. I'll just bring Gemma's back in again so you can see them side by side. I think it's a really fun style and just a really fun way to use the barn door a little bit differently. So thank you as always for watching today. I will link below all of the product that I've used. I'll have some other of the flip and see card tutorials coming up now, because you might want to watch those next, and there'll be the playlist as well, which I would have shared along the way. Give me a thumbs up if you've enjoyed today, and I'll see you all again soon. Bye.